I don't condone scalping, and I think it hurts the toy industry, but instead of complaining about it, let's talk about how we can fix it. What's up, everyone? My name is Matt, often called Big Nerdy. We are the NWO, the Nerd World Order, and this is Nerdzoic. Okay, I've released a video about scalper shaming, and I did not expect it to be as controversial as it was. I thought it was like on the edge, but like it triggered people. And I kind of am surprised because I didn't think it was that bad. No, I'm not going to walk back anything I said, despite anybody who seemed to have vehement disagreements or call me a scalper or call me a fatty and all those other weird things. I get it. I get that it hurts, and I get that it's really annoying and making the hobby and something that you think and I think is fun crappy. But the reason I made that is because I don't think going around and telling everybody they're a scalper when they're not, for a lot of them, is wrong. Now, obviously, the thing I learned is that everybody's definition of scalper is a little bit different, and most of them are a lot different than mine. One more time, let me say this for emphasis before I get into the meat and potatoes of this. I do not condone scalping. Scalping is bad. Just want to put that out there. Secondly, I am not walking back what I said before. What I had said previously about what my thoughts are on what is and isn't a scalper completely stand. You're allowed to disagree with them though, and that's the beauty of it, folks. We can all still be friends and nerds together and not agree on everything. Now, here's the thing. When you get angry and direct your ire to the scalpers, even the real ones, even the ones that I don't like, who are buying a $20 figure and flipping it for $160, I think we're all blaming the wrong person. Why are we blaming the scalper and not the store? Blame the game, not the player. When you think about it, scalpers aren't bad for the stores. They're selling and moving product, and they're creating a ton more foot traffic because a bunch of people who aren't scalpers are going to 7 targets instead of 1, and in each one of those targets, maybe they buy a Milky Way, maybe they buy a gallon of milk. Something that's higher margin, so they're creating foot traffic. The stores are the ones that are placing these orders. Maybe not the individual stores themselves, but the company at the very least is deciding how much to buy. They are creating scarcity, and possibly they might be doing it on purpose to get more foot traffic. Instead, we all get mad at the scalper. And again, don't like that they do this. I think it's kind of crappy. But that guy, who knows what his situation is? He might be doing this because he lost his job with the pandemic, and this is what he can do to put food on his family's table. I'm much quicker to condemn the billion-dollar corporation than I am the guy putting food on his family's table. Again, I'm not defending scalpers, but I think that pushing our wrath onto the scalpers as the community is not going to solve the problem. It treats a symptom, but it doesn't treat a cause. Because even if we shame these people into not scalping, another scalper is going to rise. Scalping happens in pretty much everything, whether it's shoes, video games, sports cards, retail arbitrage as a whole, where you go around and buy things cheap and then put them online and sell them for more. It's a big business for people. And I'm not saying there's anything right or wrong with that, but what I'm saying is we got to look at this holistically here. So how do we fix it? First of all, let's really look at where scalping has happened. Scalping is only a problem in the toy community with exclusives. I know some of you are going to get in the comments and be like, yeah, you're wrong. I'm not wrong. The biggest problem is exclusives, figures that only go to Target or only go to Walmart. The reason for this is everything else eventually hits somewhere, whether it's a store, Amazon, a specialty store. You have the opportunity to buy almost every mainline figure except exclusives. So really, the problem's exclusives. For those of you who are saying that you can't get to fit the new figures because of the scalpers, I ask you this. Is it patience? Are you having FOMO? How many times have we seen somebody pay triple the price for a figure because someone's got it early and they want to be the first one to have it? You don't need to be the first one to have it, guys. So that's the first step to stopping scalping, is just be patient. Hold back the collector tears. You're gonna find it. I know the feeling. I get that pit in my stomach too, but I have never had an issue finding a widely released figure. Next up, don't pay scalper prices ever. Like, this one's the most common sense thing in the world, but the reason this is happening is because the market supports it. If someone pays $160 for a figure, that's because to them, even though it retails at $20, it's worth $160. So if you don't pay for it, the scalpers are going to say, I can't make money flipping this anymore. It's not a good investment. Time to go back to the Pokemon cards. Time to go back to the sneakers. If you don't buy, they're not going to flip it. Literally, if everybody stopped today, right now, from buying for scalpers, it's done. Scalping's over in like a week. But that's never going to happen. We can never launch a coordinated attack like that. But we can start doing it little bits at a time. And here's how we do that. And this one might be a little divisive based on some of the comments and reactions I got on the last video, but help other people get their toys so they don't have to feed the scalpers. Help them get their plastic crack, folks. Don't make a profit, but be a middleman. That's why I don't really have a problem when I see someone grab 6 major bloods. Sure, my first reaction is, guess you're gonna go sell them all for $150 a piece, you scalper. But then I think about it and I say, okay, let's be real, let's be calm here. Because if that person is then selling them to a buddy for a retail price, they're actually helping. And I know a lot of you are going to argue this and say, no, they need to leave one for the next guy, leave one for the next guy. Part of the fun is finding it in the store. And I get that. But if they leave it, who's going to get it? Most likely a scalper. If you're lucky enough to find these things, pick them up. Not all of them, but if you know someone who wants it, pick it up and help a friend out. Get it in these Facebook groups. Those of you who are like, I'm not part of some exclusive group, I can't get these. They're not exclusive groups. Anybody can join them. You don't like Facebook? No problem. There's Discord groups. Don't like Facebook or Discord? There's Reddit groups. Anybody can do it. It's a really nice community out there, folks. If we do this, the scalpers don't have inventory. So we've killed a couple of problems so far. No one's buying from them if we listen to point number 2. They don't have anything to buy because there's nothing on the shelves because we're buying it and selling it to our friends at retail cost. A lot of you guys quoted Toy Galaxy in my comments, Dan Larson, and I like Dan a lot. Like, I get a lot of inspiration from him. But I don't completely agree with his leave one for the next guy. I get it. I agree with it. And I think he's thinking like wholeheartedly, and I think it's coming from a good spot. But I think reality, you're leaving one for the next scalper. I get it that people want to find them in stores, but the toy industry is moving away from that. There's going to come a time very soon where, just look, every year the toy aisle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Kids don't buy toys. Eventually, I think this is going to turn into a mostly like online thing. So yeah, you might think I'm wrong about saying, go ahead and buy them and sell them at retail, even if you're wiping out the inventory. But I strongly believe that that's the best way to combat the scalpers, folks. And I respect you if you disagree with that. But if you're saying that the only reason to disagree with that is for something like finding it in the wild, I say you can get the regular releases in the wild if it means that much to you to do the hunt. And lastly, one of the other things I keep hearing is, what about the kids? Spoiler alert, kids don't play with action figures, guys. Most kids are not buying these toys. Walk up and down the action figure aisle and take a look at all the different toy lines and franchises represented. He-Man, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, G.I. Joe, Ninja Turtles. What do a lot of these things have in common? They're older properties that are nostalgic to us. The kids aren't picking up this G.I. Joe stuff so much. Sure, there's a couple here and there, but they don't make these lines for kids. In fact, if you look, Marvel, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, they all have a lesser, lower priced, lower quality line for kids. Sure, they don't have 25 points of articulation, but the point is kids can build their little storyline at a decent price. These figures are not meant for kids. I have kids. Do they play with action figures? Only if I'm playing. They come down and say, hey, Dad, can we play together? That's it. But they don't play with toys on their own like that. They're playing with random crap that I think looks like terrible. But hey, that's what this generation likes. They like playing with like mystery box crap. We hit the 2 big things. Don't feed the scalpers, and friends help friends find toys that are hard to find. Now, a couple other things that we can do to help get rid of scalpers. Next up is look in all the hiding spots. Check out Rocco the Great. I think he might be the one who pioneered the looking under the shelf for toys. I learned from a Target manager that a lot of scalpers, specifically, will hide their toys in the store, not because they don't have money, but because their theory is they hide it in the store. The store sees, oh wow, we have these 8 figures in inventory that have not sold one. They must not be popular. We'll put them on clearance. Then they go back when they're on clearance, pay $10 a piece, and sell them for $100 a piece. Look in those spots, and you're going to make some scalpers sad. If they're selling out and they're still getting foot traffic and people are still buying other things at a higher margin in their store, the shortages and scalper problems is probably pretty good for them, minus the headache of hearing people complain. And I'm saying, complain more. Not to the store employees. Ask for the store manager. Talk to them. Ask for the regional manager. Write to corporate offices. Don't just blame Hasbro and jump on a live stream and start spamming the chat. I saw someone today say, hey, we need to spam the next live stream's chat so they know how mad we are about exclusives. You really think that's going to do something? Because it doesn't. They know it's a problem. And yes, it probably seems like I'm giving Hasbro a cut on this, and I am. And here's why. I don't think that Hasbro has as much control over this as we all think. Analogy for you. Kids love ice cream, but parents aren't going to let kids eat ice cream for dinner every night of the week because too much of anything is really bad for you, and eventually you're going to get sick and a problem's going to come. Hasbro, I'm saying, is the parent. The ice cream is toys. They can't flood the market because they have a deeper responsibility of making sure that they don't destroy the industry. Because if they flood the market, they're going to end up having to clearance things out, which is going to drive down the stock price, which is going to ultimately mean that they can't be as innovative and come out with more new cool stuff. They have to balance it. They have to have a profit. Yes, they have to have a profit. They are a business, not a charity. So no, I don't blame Hasbro for this. Could they do a better job? Sure. Hasbro, if you happen to be watching, the one thing I would really suggest with the stores, the online part. The online part's the worst because they sell out in 15, 20 seconds and then they go up on eBay in multiples. So it's the same person buying them all. If we can fix one thing, Hasbro, try to get in the contract that the stores have to restrict it to one figure per address. That would help us all a ton. We can stop scalping. Let's do this together. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're not subscribed to me, please go ahead and do it. Remember, till next time, you have to grow old, but you don't have to grow up. Just be cool and stay nerdy. Later.